Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're with me for the first time, I am Melissa Reed and I'm an artist from Pennsylvania. We're working today again on a square of watercolor paper that I have taped off into roughly 5.5-inch square just to give myself some sort of framework in which to begin. If you were with me last week, I was doing ink and collage and I decided to continue with that theme. I got a brand new ink there and I bought another fluid acrylic as well. That ink was a Rowney, believe it was Crimson. I'll double check on that. These will all be in the description for you, whatever I end up using. And I'm just going in with a watercolor brush and some water. I want to lay down fields of this beautiful, brilliant red ink there. And I'm going to be adding a little bit of the Rowney Flame Orange to this as well. I love doing the ink on water technique. You can do this with watercolors as well, and then just kind of letting them sit and be what they are as they dry. So I made another little line of water on the right hand side, and now I am just connecting the ink to that water that I just put in there with my pen and nib. And those lines that I'm making are creating little pathways that are bringing some of the pools of ink over from the main image into that secondary water area there. And I'm also then going in with the pen to collect some of that ink up and move it directly over into that area. I use a brush, I use the pen just to kind of move some of that excess ink over there to create more of the same color. Once I'm happy with the composition as it is there, I'm going to let everything get dried and come back in and do a little more work. So I'm going to add another field of water over top of this, and because I'm using acrylic ink and not watercolor, these do not reactivate. If you were using watercolor, that water would reactivate what's already down on the paper. Now I'm going in with my pen and nib, and that is carbon black golden fluid acrylic paint. And I'm adding these little polka dots, and some of the ink is spreading into these little fields of black, and it gives almost like a cellular look, which I love. This is something that I've explored in some of my work before and will continue to do in the future. In fact, I already have an idea kind of for a start of a piece for next week, but I'm just going into where I put those lines of water down with some of this black and just adding more and more dots. I'm going to go in and add a little more black paint to the bottom left hand area there because I want to intensify the black dots. And you'll see that where there is more water pooled, the ink spreads more, and where I intentionally left the water very thin is where you get the more defined dot shapes. I still had a little bit of the ink left on the pen, so I went in and outlined the inside of those areas that I made that were the pathways for the paint between the two shapes. Now I'm going to do some collage, and this again was one of those where I did not make any specific collage papers for this piece. I just kind of went through my stash and was trying to find something that would either be complementary, which is what I ended up going with the blue, or something that would be the same. So those were my two options there, and I had that pretty blue paper that I made on the gel plate with I think some like sports fabric, if you know what I mean. I'm sure that's not what it's actually called, but and I pulled prints off of that. And the blue there works beautifully with that orange, and that's a much warmer red, that crimson color. So those worked as beautiful contrasting color pieces. And I have no, again, rhyme or reason as to what's happening here because, as you know, I'm an intuitive artist, and that means that I kind of let each step inform the next. So I just work until it feels like enough. What I am doing though is loosely keeping the idea of composition in the back of my mind. Again, not planned out, but you can see as I'm moving some of those pieces around, I am making that decision in the moment compositionally. And that is Liquitex matte medium that I'm using as an adhesive there. Sorry, I bumped the camera a little bit. And those prints are pulled on tissue paper, which makes them basically completely transparent. So you can definitely see what's going on underneath in the original work that I did on the paper there through that collage paper. I typically make just about all of my collage papers on tissue paper for that reason. I do have some other ones that I use sometimes, but I really like the idea of that transparency. And this is just regular tissue, not wet strength. Although there's nothing wrong with using that, but as I've said in other videos, I've tried it, and for me, as long as you're careful pulling, you can just use regular tissue. This is acid-free tissue that I bought on Amazon, but use what you have. And as long as you're careful, I don't think it's really much. It's not going to give you too many problems. Every great once in a while, I'll have a piece tear, but honestly, not really that often. And the wet strength, while it is fairly transparent, the regular is much more transparent. And for me, that's kind of like the trade-off, and I like that transparency, so that's what I go with. All right, so I decided to do some of my line work on this piece, and if you've watched my other videos, you have seen this style of line work that I do. I am using more of the Golden brand fluid acrylic in the carbon black and my pen and nib to make these lines. And I'm just going in and randomly creating this design as I go along. And these are all just intersecting lines and sometimes squares that form another layer to the background of this design. I'm just going to let you watch me work there for a few minutes. So I had mentioned that this is something that you will find in a lot of my artwork, and I'll put something up on the end screen that I've used this in before so you can kind of take a look. That is one way that you can develop your artistic style, is to have recurring qualities of line or types of design, or you can use specific sets of colors or patterns in your work that make it readily identifiable as your own. I mean, you can look at an artist's work sometimes and instantly, never having seen that particular piece before, look at it and say, oh, I know who did that, because that is very indicative of their style. So if that's something that you are interested in doing and developing your style, there are lots of ways to do that. I can even do a video on that one of these days if anyone is interested, because there really are just so many ways that you can make that happen in your own work. And as I'm working on this stage, I'm keeping in the back of my mind what might come next. And honestly, at this point, I was not sure. And I was not sure to the point where I decided to sleep on it. And sometimes the best thing you can do if you're a little stuck in your work is to just take a step back from it, walk away for a few hours overnight. And when you come back, usually it will be fairly obvious either what's the next step, is something missing, does something need to be covered up or gone over, added or subtracted. But getting a little bit of perspective and distance is a way that I can kind of solve my own artistic block, if you will. And the next morning, after waking up and looking at the piece, I did solve that visual problem for myself. And it was that there really wasn't a focal point. And so I thought that it needed something bold and dark. So I went in again with the golden fluid acrylic. This time I'm going in with a brush and I am making some very dark marks. And there are some square shapes naturally in this piece. So I decided to mimic those shapes, carry them through, because that's a way that you can introduce continuity into your work, is repeating the same shapes in different ways with different line qualities or different colors. It makes the piece make more visual sense. So even just adding that very first block down there really solidified the whole piece and made it make a lot more sense visually, because there was something that your eye is being drawn to. And I decided to counterbalance that with some of the same types of shapes up at the top. And those are just very loose, sketchy, square and rectangular shapes. And I'm kind of tying them together there at the bottom, just to create some eye movement throughout the piece. I'm going to let that get dried and show you what we have. All right, this is the finished piece, all dried and ready to go, and I do like the way that it turned out. I think adding that dark focal point at the end was really key for making everything come together and be a little more finished and polished. You'll have to let me know what you think, and if you liked what we ended up with here. I do really like the colors. Of course, I love any bright contrasting colors with a dark focal point. That's always good for me. But yeah, let me know what you think. And if you liked what I did today, if you could give me a thumbs up and hype me out so other people can see the video. And if you haven't had a chance to subscribe yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. I do put out a new video every single Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And I look forward to seeing you here again next Friday with another video. Take care and have a great week.